Alrighty, everybody, welcome back. Oh, what do we got today? We're doing episode 1 of Make It Rad, Not Bad. These are going to be a little different than the How to Shreds. Those are a little more specific. This is going to be more concept-based, conceptual stuff, you know. So we're going to take a concept and we're going to see how we can add stuff to give it more color, things like that. Just to spice stuff up so you're not stuck in one little box all the time. And see what we can come up with. So, there you go. Make It Rad, Not Bad. Episode 1. Here we go. So, what do we got? What are we doing? Oh, I got my notes. What does it say? Minor sounds. We're doing minor sounds. We're going to be using C minor today. So everybody's on board. E standard is what we're tuned to. Alright. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to establish kind of like a minor tonality. Just baseline. Just drop my pick into the 5th dimension. I don't know where the heck it went. Oh, there it is. Just because you're in the box doesn't mean you have to be in the box. What does that mean? Well, we have our minor tonality. We have C minor. Now, we're going to start with kind of our base level sounds over like a C minor 7 chord type of deal. I'm not just going to think pentatonic. I'm not just going to think natural minor. I'm going to sort of blend those two. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm thinking. Those are the two sounds that kind of outline the basis of a minor sound. As well as Dorian, I think we could probably throw in there. So natural 6, flat 6, combining that, adding the flat 5 if you want some blue note action. So we can start by establishing that kind of a sound. So not being too strict with it. Even like a major third could be cool. You hear that in blues all the time, so that's totally fair game. The point is we're trying to add all these parts up to a sum that equals minor as a whole. You know, we're not locked into any specific thing. We're kind of doing a blend. So that's the first thing you can do. Just kind of think about those 3 things. So blues, natural minor. And again, this is really not a note for note type of thing that I'm going to be breaking down. Slow it down, just listen to each scale fragment. And then we'll go into some stuff about how we can kind of like expand this across the fretboard. Make it a little easier to visualize. But for now, just stick in one spot, dude. You don't need to be going nuts with this stuff. We can just go right here. 1 octave, nothing crazy. So blues, then we have natural minor. And then Dorian could be cool too, so adding a natural 6. Very cool. And yeah, even like the major third, you could do, yeah, in like a blues context could be cool. So when you get that kind of like flat 5 blended with a flat 3 and a major 3, it just gives you all kinds of cool colors to mess around with. I just added a flat 9. That's against the rules. So yeah, even adding a flat 9 could be cool. So thinking like Phrygian kind of blended in with this stuff too. So I'm really just kind of grazing over this stuff because everybody and their brother has done stuff about this in these scales. The point I'm trying to get across to everyone is try to think about it as like one big thing you can pull from. It's not like you have to be like, oh, I'm only playing Phrygian here and I'm only playing Dorian here. It's like you can kind of blend them, you can play around with them, and that's the rule. As long as you create some tension and bring it back home, you can do whatever you want, I'm telling you. Kind of like combining all that stuff can be cool, dude. So just go with it. What else? So we have our kind of baseline tonality. Now you might be wanting to branch out. You're saying, Tim, I'm getting bored. just being in this little third position box type of thing. Well, I got some tips for you. This isn't like one trick that'll make you instantly amazing at everything in the universe, but it'll help, I think. You have a root note everywhere on the fretboard, basically. So if you can find your C notes wherever the heck you want. I gotta intonate this thing, but that's the point. If you can find your C notes, use those as your landmarks, as your home bases. You have something to fall back on if you get in a jam. If you're up here, I'm really kind of revolving around that C note. So you can take patterns you already know. So if you know this like pentatonic thing or blues, anywhere you have that, and then just remember with the B string you have to shift up one fret on your pattern just because of the tuning. It's literally the same thing here, it's the same thing here. Again, B string throws it off. Don't get freaked out by that. Just think your exact same pattern, just bump it up. And use your ear for this too. Don't just go by a visual thing, go by an auditory thing. And I found another thing that was helpful when I was trying to figure out kind of this stuff. I'm still trying to figure it out. What are we talking about here? What am I saying? It's like I think I know this when I don't fully. No one does. Is figuring out what the scale looks like below. And eventually you're going to run into another root note. So I have that C note there. And if I can kind of see this position back here, I can connect this stuff. It's hard to explain. It just kind of comes from doing it a lot and just looking at these scales from all these different angles and using your root note as a connection point. So right there's a root, and using octave shapes. So I'm using those C notes in combinations of triadic shapes. That can be really helpful too. So using just your minor triads. Again, dude, I'm like all over the place with this. I'm just trying to throw all this info out there. Like this is if there is a secret, it's triads and root notes, I think. So kind of like seeing these shapes in combinations with your roots can really help fill in the gaps if you're having trouble kind of trying to connect this stuff. Across the fretboard. And again, I'm not thinking strict pentatonic, strict Aeolian or whatever. It's just, again, the overarching minor sound we're trying to create with this stuff. At least for this little segment on today's program. So that's the idea, guys. That's what I'm really trying to tell you, is you just got to explore, look at this stuff from different angles. Root notes, triads. Yep, that's all you need. I'm telling you that's all you need. For a lot of stuff, at least. Okay, so say you get the hang of that. You're looking for some more stuff. We got a couple more things we're going to cover in today's segment. So we got our pentatonic, minor, natural minor, whatever the heck you want to call it, with chromaticism, you know, that counts. So it really is a blend of everything. If you want the jazz flavor, dude, just... That was really bad, but that's the point. Chromatics, that's all part of, again, just the minor sound is what we're going for. Next, if you want some spice and to add some tension, there's some devices we can use to do that without even having a chord backing underneath. We can create some harmony just off linear concepts. So what we can do, I got my list right here. This is the high budget we're working with, everyone. This is what we got. Very planned. Okay, the really common one everyone always talks about. Superimposing like a 5 chord over this C minor. So that'd be like a G7. G13 type of thing in this key. We're gonna do the diminished thing. So we're gonna make it like an altered chord, kind of. Natural 13 flat 9. We're not doing altered yet. That's for the next segment. How the heck do you play this chord? Oh, there we go. That's kind of the underlying harmony, I guess. So it's a half whole diminished scale off of the 5th of C, which is G. Yeah, so it's a natural 13 and a flat 9. That kind of gives you this sound. You can think about this a few ways. You could do like a half whole scale, half whole diminished off of G, or you can think A flat whole half. It's the same thing. It starts on the flat 9 and it gives you a whole bunch of intervals which just sound tense as heck over this G7 flat 9 basically. So you'd have this type of thing. That's going to go back to C minor. That's a cool one to use. So you can blend that into your overarching sound of C minor. That adds a ton of class, I'm telling you, dude. That's a cool one. It's super dark. It comes from harmonic minor, I guess, which is what gives you that the classical sound. Super dark sounding, very cool. Adds a lot of mood. If you're feeling moody, you can do that. And same deal, you kind of want to try to expand this stuff. So I was doing, you can use the full scale. I was just using a diminished A flat diminished 7th arpeggio. That'll get it done. And listening to your resolution, so I'm combining kind of like just like a scale pattern at the end. I cannot play today, man. Again, there's a zillion diminished lessons out there, but you can use this in minor thirds because it's a symmetrical scale / chord type of thing. So we can move this up to B. I'm not going to worry about enharmonics either. So if anyone gets on my case about that, go talk to the theory nerds about it. It's a B. I'm not going to call this C triple flat augmented major 12th, whatever the heck. I'm just going to call it B because it looks like a B and it sounds like a B. But yeah, it's the same deal. Nothing crazy. And yeah, listening to where that wants to push into, that wants to just go right back to C. Same thing. If we go up again, we could go either way. We could go to the flat 3, or we could go back to the root again. The last one is on F. And again, this one sounds like it kind of wants to go there to the flat 3. Or the 5th. It's an interesting one. So you have options with this stuff. Same thing with the scale, so you could use kind of the full scale pattern too. Why not? So again, just kind of using your ear and seeing where this stuff can go. You know? And then bring it back home. Blues all day. So yeah, that's the deal with diminished. That can be neat. Let's do one more example. So that's cool. I'm not the greatest at diminished stuff, to be honest. Let's be real. Does that sound pro? I don't know. I'm getting better though. But yeah, dude, diminished is like, it's one of those weird ones where it's the same shape over and over. At least for me, it's really hard to visualize. I don't know what it is. But yeah, again, just kind of keeping track of like triads can help with that kind of thing. Something I'm still working on. Yeah, these kind of things. Spread triads. It's a tricky one. I don't pay enough attention to it, and I should. Okay, let's keep moving. Let's keep going. The next one we're gonna talk about, and again, these aren't like the only ones. They just kind of like came to my mind. So we're going off the dome for this. We're gonna use a minor 6 kind of shape off of the flat 6. So this brings us to kind of like melodic minor. It's another cool sound. So A flat is the flat 6 of C. And I guess you can add a major 7 to it also, which is cool. So you can basically just use melodic minor. That's what I'm really trying to say, I guess. So yeah, kind of doing like root, flat 3, 5. You could do the 6 there. Major 7. That's a interesting sound. Yeah, and that's related very heavily to this last one. Last one for today, at least. We'll do more of this for sure. We're gonna have a whole bunch of the Make It Rad Not Bads. Altered. Off of the 5. This probably should have been the first one, to be honest. But yeah, very common. Again, 7th mode of melodic minor for the theory nerds, if you care. This is where we're gonna have a dominant 7 with a sharp 5 / flat 13 type of thing. That sound. You get a flat 9 on it too. And you can really hear it with the flat 9 that it wants to go right back home, man. Right back to C minor. Okay, so just playing your altered scale. Just a quick breakdown. The altered scale is basically if you took a major scale and flat everything, obviously except the root. And it gives you this kind of thing. Very tense. And again, just kind of looking for this thing everywhere, using your root notes really heavily. And then just bring it back home. So that's neat. The other thing you can use, this is kind of bonus. I think we covered everything I wanted to with this. So before we wrap it up, root notes and triads really help. So just pay attention to the root. Kind of broke out there, who cares? So this same stuff goes for these more outside sounds. You don't have to stick just in altered. So I'm in altered now. Maybe I want to like add diminished. But yeah, so I'm thinking minor, blues, Dorian, altered. There's the minor 6. Bring it back in. And diminished. Not the greatest resolution, but you get the idea. You you can use all this stuff to fill in the gaps. You know, that's the whole point of this. Make it rad, not bad. That's what I'm trying to tell people with this stuff. And again, I'm not like the greatest at it, but if you can understand the idea, you can kind of like take it and run with it. Yeah, just think in minor, this broad thing, and then all these little colorations you can just toss in there. It's like spices. You got your cumin, and what else? Your red pepper and chili powder, whatever else you want. That's really what that's what I'm yapping about today. I hope the examples are good enough. I hope I kind of illustrated that all right. I'm really trying to keep these videos sort of like as natural as I possibly can. If you guys are anything like me, you might be getting sick of the overproduced, over-edited, sample replaced this and quantized that, auto-tune, AI nonsense. I'm sick of that, man, so I'm trying to keep these as real as possible while not wasting people's time. So I do like really minimal edits. None of this audio is edited though, that's for sure. What you see is what you get around here. Okay, I think that was it. Again, if anyone has somehow made it to the end of this, thanks, appreciate it. So yeah, we're gonna keep these coming. We're gonna keep doing the how to shreds. We got some more of those in a little bit. We got something really cool at the end of the month. Don't want to say too much about it, but it is gonna be awesome. I promise it's gonna be awesome. So everybody be on the lookout for that. See if I can get one more example before we wrap this up. And we'll end with a dominant chord. Why not? I've been doing minor all day, man. Might as well brighten it up a little bit. Alright, so that does it for that one. Thanks, everybody. We're gonna keep doing these make it rad, not bad, and just see what comes out of it. Who knows? We'll see. Hopefully it helps people. Again, sorry if this isn't like a note-for-note thing showing exactly how to play lines. Just use your ears, slow it down. Break it down, man. Take your time with this stuff. It takes time. I'm still trying to get my head wrapped around a lot of this stuff, so don't let anybody tell you that there's like a one-trick thing that's gonna make you great at everything. It does not exist. Just keep going, no matter what. Alright, and with that, we're out of here. Thanks a lot, everyone. Until next time. Oh, this one's gonna be so much easier to edit. Thank God. Okay, see you later, everybody.